Something that is coming towards us probably very slowly, maybe its shoes are worn out, I don't know, is Death Stranding 2, or DS2. It was announced at the Game Awards. Apparently it's just a working title, but Kojima's back at it again. Norman Reedus is back with his magical fetus, and yeah, I think literally when this got announced, when this trailer was still in the middle of going on, we were sitting in the room watching the Game Awards here at IGN, and I heard someone go, should I play Death Stranding? And then I looked down at Twitter, and someone else literally said, should I play Death Stranding? And I feel like that's kind of a thought that's floating around a lot. Obviously, a lot of us have probably played. Have we? Jada, you played it? Brian?
I have not.
Okay.
So that was a question I was thinking about.
Okay. Akeem, what about you? Have you played Death Stranding?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I have.
All right,
Okay.
so I'm alone.
Okay.
I'm the one that is thinking here, should I play Death
So
Stranding?
you're
And
a
now I
guinea
have
pig.
four
We have
people
to-
here
yeah.
to
be fair,
answer this.
To be fair, I haven't finished it. I got about 30 hours in, and then I abandoned my baby.
Okay.
I left my baby.
Should you finish Death Stranding? Yeah.
I mean,
Are you thinking about finishing it?
I am considering it. So, like, Yusuf is my partner, has been playing it. He's like 256 hours in. He's about to platinum it. It may be the one game that he platinums that I never platinum because I don't know if I have it in me to go and platinum Death Stranding because it is just so much postal work. And I come from a line of postal workers. I worked at the post office in college.
wow. Okay.
And I did everything in my power to imagine a better life for myself, and that's why I'm here at IGN.
So the game hits a little too close to home.
It hits
for
a
you,
little too close at home for
Okay.
me. I love what my family's done in the postal office. My mom's still there. She's about to retire, hopefully. But yeah, like I had to get out of that life.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
I think honestly at this point, I played it immediately prior to launch. I pretty much just mainlined it, which is the worst possible way to play that game.
Yeah.
Like I've often likened trying to sort of just binge huge games as Bruce Bogtrotter, the little boy in Matilda who's forced to eat an entire chocolate cake in front of everybody. That's kind of what it's like to try to just consume a massive game like that. And this specifically is a game that is very zen. It's about traversing these massive areas, and it's not really the fastest paced game around. So not ideal for that. The other key thing is that it's entirely like it's a strand game, which means
Right.
that it connects players in this kind of anonymous, asymmetrical sort of, not anonymous, but it's kind of what Dark Souls does, where like players leave little treats and tidbits and like warnings and messages for each other. And prior to launch, that was just like a handful of people playing. So there wasn't really a huge ecosystem there. But the more people play, the more sort of refined the world is, and like it's a lot easier to deliver mail if there are roads. And if a bunch of people are playing and they put in roads, then hey, cool, there it is.
I think the coolest thing about that is that you can like set up a code and like link up with a group of people that you know, and like you can all share the same thing. It'll make sure that their structures appear in your world. So like if I do go back, like I'll be linking up with my partners because he's already built zip lines across the whole world, and so like I can just zip line everywhere.
Yeah. The other thing is I played it on PS4, and since we've gotten the director's cut, which added a ton of like bells and whistles, possibly literally
There's
catapults.
like circus cannons that can shoot your crap across the whole
There's
world.
like a racetrack for some reason.
Yeah, my thing with this game was like I wanted to love it so much, and it didn't click. And I loved Metal Gear Solid 5. I love Breath of the Wild. I love big open world games that have a bunch of systems in play that let you do crazy stuff. I love the lead up to this game was amazing, like the theories and the like. Digging into details and just like having all these crazy ideas of what is this? What does it mean? That to me was actually more fun than the game itself. And when the game landed, I was like, this is kind of cumbersome. I'm struggling with it. I don't like it, but I understand why people adore it. And that's to me more of a bummer than like me just playing a bad game that I hate, because I can just kind of throw it away. But with this one, I was like, there's so much here I love, and it's just not clicking with me. But that said, like the Game of the Year edition, they added all that stuff Max was just talking about. So Josh, I feel like for you, like, and you're somebody that you found every turd in Breath of the Wild, right?
Yeah.
So like you click with
This game is filled with feces.
Yes.
All kinds of bodily fluid. It's just
I love bodily excrement. Yeah.
Well, you'll be finding a lot of those.
Yeah. Right.
And harnessing it yourself.
Akeem, what's up?
I was going to say the reason people loved this game, Brian, is because of Kojima. We love Kojima.
Right.
Like, I mean, like, much like what you said, Brian, yes, I found it very cumbersome. I mean, like, I don't really like playing beautiful walking simulators, but you know what? this is Kojima's behind this one. So I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try. I actually have it right now on my the director's cut on my Steam Deck. So I'm revisiting the game on there. But again, like I just honestly, the only reason I'm still playing it is because of Kojima. If it wasn't a Kojima game, then I probably would have just like abandoned this fetus a long time ago.
If it wasn't a Kojima game, it wouldn't exist. And I mean that because I think if
100%.
somebody came out of the woodwork and they were like, "Hey, I made a game where you slowly deliver papers to holograms who don't come out of their house," they'd be like, "I don't know if we're going to give you money," you know?
Right, yeah. It's the first of its kind. It's a strand game.
Yes.
There's going to be a series of strand games. Like,
Yes.
okay,
No, he definitely
we didn't
got
know
in,
what that was.
He got in at the right time. It was like when they launch a new streaming platform and they're like, "Hey, Mike Judge, you want to make a new season of Beavis and Butthead?" And he's like, "Well, this year when you have money, absolutely, because next year you won't."
I totally I admire Kojima because he is a talented game creator, but his stories honestly don't do it for me. So that's the hardest thing for me. Like, I'm not the hugest Metal Gear fan. Like, I liked Metal Gear Twin Snakes and MG5, like Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, I played a little bit of it, but like I get so lost in the stories and like it's just the cutscenes are too long for me. And you guys know how much I play games, and so like I need to be active when I'm playing, otherwise I fall asleep. And I did that a lot during.
Twin Snakes is one of the only games where you can shoot Yoshi in the head. But the trailer for DS2 looked incredible, and I love all the designs in that. And I'm like, okay, I'm in on this, and maybe I'll just watch a recap of the first game and then go through this whole cycle again.
Yeah, but
right?
that's exactly how you felt about the first.
I know,
Death Stranding
I know.
trailers. I felt the same way. Like, I
Yeah.
saw this new trailer, I'm like, wow, I'm so hyped for this game, but I already know what this game is.
know.
So why would I? Yeah.
Kojima, if you look at his track record with Metal Gears, they are all mechanically pretty distinct.
Yes.
Like, he loves to invent new systems and throw a monkey wrench into things. And honestly, if he'd just like annualize Metal Gear and be like, "Oh, here's the continuing adventures of Snake," it probably would have been much more successful. But instead, he's like, "I've invented a new system where you can get food poisoning." Like, he just loves to throw in like weird.
you can kill this person by saving your game and not playing for 2 weeks.
Your favorite action hero is now very old and he's sick and he's dying and he has a mustache for
So
some reason.
are you saying that like modern Kojima fans who may not know all of that might have to kind of be on their toes a little here, because they could get thrown for a loop? People who put like 150 hours into Death Stranding 1 might come into 2 being like, more of the same, which I love, and he's going to be like, I
think the core mechanics are going to be there, but I would be very surprised if he didn't throw in a few like crazy curveballs. It looks like there's kind of more of an emphasis on stealth, maybe running away from people based on the trailer. Again, the trailer, I picked over the trailers for the first one just so much. Like, I was on the crazy wingnut fan theory subreddit and just looking at all that stuff, and we're like, they would drop like a super duper high res photo of Norman Reedus' character, and people were like zooming in and looking at the USB drives on his necklace, and they had equations in them, and people were like figuring out the equations and unpacking them, and we're just like looking at everything with just a magnifying glass, and ultimately it didn't really
Yeah,
matter,
that wasn't like transferred to the gameplay of what
Right.
it really
Yeah.
was, right? So
it didn't
no matter
even
what we
really-
see here, is it going to be representative gameplay? Like, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't even translate to the story so much.
I would argue that contributes to both the gameplay and the story. Like
What?
the theories. Yeah, that's part of the gameplay.
Oh, it is a lot.
Like,
yes.
that is
Okay.
like the road to something. Like when somebody's like, "Oh, the game's only 8 hours long," and it's like, well, you've been talking about it for 2 years, though.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
that's got to
the
count
whole
for
idea of a
something.
strand game is it's a thing that connects people. It brings them together.
Wow.
And like, I don't know, it was just meet a bunch
We're
of
playing the
strangers.
game
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, we are already
playing
playing
DS2.
Death Stranding
We're playing it.
And so are you
Kojima,
listening?
he is revolutionizing
We're definitely going to
gaming.
get some.
Oh my god.
No, I was going to say, I don't want to cut you off, Josh.
No,
I was going
I'm
to say that
just
we're
in my
definitely
own
going to be thrown for some curveballs because, I mean, like based on the trailer, I'm pretty sure we all saw like there was an octopus baby inside of that damn thing. I want to know what's up with the octopus baby.
That's an angel baby, my friend. That baby has wings.
But that one right there.
This
No.
one has wings.
Okay,
There's
well,
the
what we're
other
looking
one,
at
the one
right
in the
now. You're talking about what we're
canister,
looking
right?
at right now. But later on in this trailer, we see an octopus inside of one of the containers that you usually have the bridge baby contained in. So it's so I've seen like right there it is right there. So it's like I want to know, how does that play within the overall game mechanics, or and why is there an octopus in there?
My theory is baby cosmetics. You saw the angel wings earlier. It's a tentacle. I think you're going to be able to unlock cool new outfits for your BB, and you'll be able to dress it up inside of that weird womb vat. I'm really excited about this. I'm really curious about this specifically because a few things have changed since I played the first game. Namely, there was a massive global pandemic that resulted in all of us hiding inside our homes and getting stuff delivered all the time, which was a little weird that was seemed completely far-fetched.
Which apparently caused Kojima to completely rewrite the game from scratch.
Honestly, it just makes me wonder, like, what? How much did how much of the game?
Yeah.
What did he change?
Yeah.
What, like, now when it comes out, I hope he reveals what the original script was going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other thing is I became a dad. Like I have a little baby now, and there's like that stuff's going to hit differently. But
I mean, even watching the trailer, I was like, "Don't kill the kid! Don't kill the kid! Don't kill the kid!" Because I'm a dad too. And then they did, I think.
Maybe.
And then it became an octopus, sort of.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, "All right, well, I guess we're just going to keep doing that then." You know.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. The thing that I'm really excited about is more Yoji Shinkawa designs because he's the mechanical character designer for all of Kojima's best games, and I'm just very happy he's just turned loose to do more weird stuff. Yeah, I mean, I could honestly, I appreciate how much Kojima swings for the fences with the story. I think he gets lost in the weeds sometimes. He definitely goes pretty far out there, and it's weird because at the same time he has like wonderful ideas for game mechanics, and they don't always intersect with what's happening in the story. They're kind of these two isolated things, especially in the first one where it was like a lot of the cutscenes in that, a lot of the conversations felt very much like a stage play, where you've got all these famous characters and they're like clearly interacting. Like the performance capture in that game is great, but they're not really doing much. Like it's kind of they're fairly sort of corralled in. And it's funny if you look at something like comparatively like God of War Ragnarok, which obviously probably a little bit of a bigger budget for that game, but you see the characters kind of interacting with the environment more, and there are like set pieces, there's more kind of action, there's more movement, whereas a lot of the conversations and interactions in the first Death Stranding is like, Sam Bridges is just like, he's in his bedroom and like maybe he's talking to a hologram, maybe he's talking to someone who's there who can't be touched. Like it's an odd kind of separation between narrative and Ludo and narrative, I guess.
It's a fascinating series to look at, considering it's running on the Decima engine, and like the other contemporary example of that is the Horizon series, which is historically busy and cluttered and just overly designed, if anything, right? Like there's just non-stop, like, oh look, there's a river, there's a rock, there's a rat, and an animal is running by, a forest, and a dilapidated bridge. Whereas you look at Death Stranding and it's like it's minimalist, it's quiet, it's bleak, it's gray. And I kind of appreciate that this engine is flexible enough to do both of those things so well, so distinctly, that for the average person walking by, you wouldn't ever guess that they're coming from the same place.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I think I will give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
I'm going to try it. I mean, based on the way you guys are describing it, it sounds like one of those games that, you definitely shouldn't just mainline it, pretend it's like a linear narratives type of game, like God of War or something, where you're like, I have to find out what happens next. Yeah. Like, kind of just relax. That's honestly how I play Far Cry 6. I still haven't beaten that game, but because there's just so much to do, and like, obviously the gameplay is not going to be exactly the same, like, but I approach Far Cry in a way where I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to skydive into this spot, grab this little collectible, and I'll do a few of those, and I'm good. I'm done. Like, I play maybe an hour or two of that game every time I sit down, and like, I am satisfied.
If you took Far Cry 6 and gave it a heaping dose of barbiturates, you would have Death Stranding, where like instead of skydiving in, you're just like, you're kind of moseying up. Maybe you take your little motorcycle, which is rusting rapidly because you drove through a haunted rainstorm or whatever.
Yep, hit a ramp and do a little trick.
I love that. You think of what a director's cut is, and typically it's like, oh, maybe it's more story, and it's like in a Kojima game, it's like he added jump kicks and catapults and a racetrack. You're like, why not? All right, that was cut from the original game, I guess. But yeah, I mean, honestly, give it a shot. I think. I hope Death Stranding 2 takes everything that the first game did and just builds on it and gets completely nuts and gets weirder and has fun with it. And it's we have no idea when that's coming or if it's even going to be called Death Stranding 2, but there it is. I don't know. I'm stoked.